it's got to be a good Slark game. And as far as this game goes, it was a good Slark game. They had like no control, nothing to kill. The issue is you don't have a good draft around Slark, and I feel like that's the other, important ingredient. I'd say if you've got a good draft around the Slark that enables him, plus lots of melee cores, heroes like Morphling, it's great against. You can just really get all those essence shift stack, and you need a good Slark player. And Gabby, they've got that. Gabby plays a lot of Slark, so I don't think this is all gloom, despair, and where it's 2-0. It's not over on the draft. T1 can make this draft. If any team can make it work in SE, I would say it's T1, because they do some funky stuff with some of their drafts.
Right, and ready to do some experimentation. We already saw up there on the top side that there was some pretty good harassment laid out by Whitemon on the Razor, and we might see him link up KP and try and pressure him back a bit. And, while we were memeing about the Essence Shift versus Brew in the support capacity, it's still pretty annoying to play against as you're a core playing into this Brewmaster. Can get some good harassment out there.
Yep, absolutely. This Brew's, I don't think, going to have a very good lane. Like, two heroes that you just don't enjoy playing against. One of them is in a support role, but even support Razor just seems pretty annoying, so we'll see how it goes. One of the heroes also making a return. Queen of Pain in the mid lane. Carl is a bit of a QOP specialist. Oh, what? Hold on. Whitemon. Is Steve dead?
Oh, no. Not like this. No, he's fine. He's fine.
Okay. But, yeah, Queen of Pain coming back. What do you think of the Queen of Pain?
It's interesting. I think that this is definitely a hero that's like gone through a couple of different phases of relevancy. I think one thing that's pretty cool about it still is going to be that shard going against the Brewmaster as a way to like start the initiation, stop him from being able to get the split off potentially. So that's something that I'm looking to see if it's good at all. The problem that I'm also seeing though is that they literally have no stuns on T1, and that's a little concerning against the Morphling.
Yeah, it felt like they were like, oh, the enemy has very few to no stuns. Let's pick heroes like Slark and QOP. But unfortunately, yeah, both teams. What happened to Carl?
He definitely Shadow Psych the creep. That was a little unfortunate.
I didn't see it. Carl, you're okay. No, everyone else saw it, it sounds like.
A little bit, maybe.
Okay.
Hide. Some good harassment down bottom there onto the tree, keeping the pressure on.
Playing KP's being chased through the trees, but he's elusive, and Whitemon, he's getting poked. This Blightstone Hoodwink is almost killed. 310 move speed. He's going for it.
Dodges back from the plasma field and keeps him away. Wow. No regen, though. I think he has something coming up. It's only tangos.
You're gonna have to walk back to the mate base. It may just be better, or I don't know if you just heal your tangos here. You're already halfway to base. He's going to suicide. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, so denies himself to the creep there, and that does leave open a window where Gabby is going to have to salve himself back up and then get underway, trying to CS here. He's had a good start to his lane, but now with the Razor out, it's going to be a little bit scary for him here.
Speaking of starts, this bottom lane for T1 has gone very well. They basically drafted these heroes, I think, in response to the Morphling. The Nature's Prophet plus Treant Protector, like two heroes that just dominate the last hits in the early game of the lane. Morphling with just the 10 CS here. Constant harass, Nature's Grasp, Leech Seed, no points in living armor. And with Treants plus right clicks, like this Morphling's, he's under a lot of pressure. This is not a fun lane.
Very annoying to deal with. Carl in the mid lane gets brought down very low. Makoto comes back in, does have a swashbuckle available, looks for the angle, but can't quite get him. In fact, Carl's just going to blink on top of Makoto afterwards. Playing it very close here.
Yeah, when I've looked over at mid lane, it seems like Makoto's slightly been outplaying him so far, just in terms of securing last hits. Like, I'll see Carl miss some last hits on the tower. I'll see Makoto, like, outplay him on some of these range creeps, so... it's reflected in the CS right now. Carl for a blink will go for the rune. Takes away from making sure Makoto doesn't get both.
And down bottom, Hyde brought Cuckoo pretty low too, and now trying to turn on the Savage. Won't be able to get that much more, but yeah, it's playing a very dangerous game over here in the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, and you don't want to die as Nature's Prophet, because you can always go for that double TP. TP back to base, TP back to lane. So dying is just giving your enemy gold when you should just be, TPing home. So he's sticking around on low health. He needs to make sure he just doesn't, misplay.
Right. And after that early pressure that Makoto's been feeling, he actually gets zoned completely back to base. So Carl is probably going to come close to hitting 6 before he does, but Gabby instead able to take down Q. So that's the first blood being drawn by T1.
Very nice. This is, Slark is not just, he's not a carry C2 often. I think some people forget he's a pretty strong laner with like the right lane. Once you get the couple essence chip stacks and you land a pounce there, there's a lot of kill threat on this hero. Slark in a pretty good position considering his CS was starting to drop off a little bit with the Razor getting bullied out of lane.
Well, again, down bottom, you can see that for now, at least 23savage already finishing off that Morbid Mask is going to try and stay here by just pressuring and right-clicking constantly, keeping his HP up. Does need to be careful about those rotations. Carl has level 6 now. Can make a move if he ends up stepping too far forward, and we've seen Sonic Waves just catch these Morphlings out pretty early on, but rolling towards mid. Makoto trying to find this kill onto Carl. The full swing around, but I think that's going to be the extent of it. And they bring in Whitemon even. Going to try and force them back here. Gets the link up and ends up taking the Arcane Rune away. Not bad, not bad.
That roll may have just been to try and secure the rune. Like, he's like, okay, let's just clear out this wave and harass him. Whitemon may pay the price for getting the rune, but I actually think supports dying to deny mid laners runes is worth it on this in the current meta.
Last hit.
Yeah, like, honestly, at worst, it's an even trade. Like, giving mid laners power runes can just be so impactful in the game. So it's just so important, especially if you're just trying to play defensive and farm it up. Like, you want to make sure enemy mids don't get runes.
Tower is under attack.
Right. Yeah, it can be a game changer depending on what it is that gets found. Whether that's a haste or DD or something else, can be a really big momentum change.
Right there. Hold that thought.
Go ahead. Yeah. Can they kill him? 23savage? Yeah, I mean, he's living for a while. And still trying to turn. Yeah, he's good. He's good to go. Backs away, keeps on punching these Treants, getting heals in afterwards.
Carl, he's going for the solo kill. He's trying to dodge the Sonic Waves.
Oh, but Carl gets him. Photo ends up getting him down low, and 23savage can come back in even more. Hyde turns, wants to fight, not enough. Whitemon making the move over. He has another plasma field in 2, and 23savage will manage TP out of there, just barely.
And yeah, Nature's Prophet rushing the vessel against Morphling. They're basically all just playing and itemizing to not give Morphling a game.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
Get out.
Get out of there. Barely brings them down. Now the roll up though. Cuckoo trying to dodge. Makoto goes back and forth, and Hyde is there to help clean up.
It's a
bloodbath. This is complete opposite the last game.
Yeah, it is. This is not what I was expecting either. There's like no stuns, so they're still getting kills regardless.
Yeah, the mid laners were trading, kill for kill with Carl getting the better, and then bottom lane is just constant brawling. Yeah, honestly, great patience from Carl mid to hold the Sonic Wave. Because he holds it, he dies because he tanks some extra damage, but he knew that, the Pengu was trying to outplay him and make him miss Sonic Wave, so great patience from Carl.
And you can see so far, I mean, they really need this lane to keep on going well, or rather this hero to keep on doing things on the map of Makoto. He is the top net worth in the game right now, while 23savage is getting pushed back in the mid by Carl constantly. 3 points up in that dagger is very annoying. And there's a substantial lead for each of these other side lanes over their respective heroes on T1. Cuckoo. Chase. Level 6. Stun is there. Is it enough? Trying to heal him up. Trying to keep him alive. It won't be there. Hyde now backs behind the tower and looks to escape from Zephyr. Zephyr doesn't have any way to break this.
Whitemon may run into Makoto here.
Chance going for the courier instead. Now looking for the kill. Carl is there. Has the Haystrom, is going to try and run him down. I think this is going to be enough. Makoto in some trouble now. Has the swashbuckle afterwards. Can he dodge it? Looking for the jump. Looks for the dodge. Carl looks for the backline. He's able to fake him out. Makoto gets away. Oh, what a dodge. That was nice.
Very nicely done. All right. So my question was, will we see Carl one-shot this Morphling with Sonic Wave?
Well, I think it's going to happen right here.
It's not a one shot, you know. I want to see the ones like
fair.
the full agi one.
I like that. For it.
Very, very well timed. Well done, Carl. I want to see the like full agi Sonic away from full health to dead. But if it happens, it usually happens early because eventually you get too many stats to get one shot there.
Oh yeah. There's a chance. I mean, particularly because they're going to have the vision advantage most of the time. Oh, Carl was not prepped for that. He had blink up and everything, and now jumps on in for the ulti. Not quite going to be able to bring down White Mod. Dodge with a living armor. Keeping him alive. Has another plasma. And the jump in with the shield crash to finish the job. So 2 go down again. 11 kills in 10 minutes. It has just been absolute mayhem early.
These mid laners, you know, they got a bit of an unhealthy obsession with these power runes because Carl should not be dying like that. But, you know, sometimes you just force these runes too much because of how high impact they can be. Perhaps the real winner of this laning stage, though, with all the chaos going on, has been this Slark, though. He's kind of gone at least somewhat quietly ignored in the top lane. And Morphling has been pressured immensely. First in bottom lane, then in the mid lane, gets picked off, and now he's forced into the jungle. They've already got at least one aggressive ward in the main jungle, so it could be a hard game for 23savage to catch up. Whereas Gabby, you know, he's got max dark pack. If he does go jungle, he can farm pretty well. I don't really feel like there's a whole lot of pressure on him.
Right. Yeah, KP is trying to mess with him here and just keep him from farming freely. But in the meantime, that means they're not keeping defense over mid. Cuckoo spawns some trees. There's still the catapult on the tower. Zephyr might pay the price for this. Yes. He ends up getting away. That's wild. I can't believe he didn't even go home. He went to bottom. What the hell? He's
like, all right, I'm going to come down here and throw some nature's grass from the trees.
Dire's top tower.
Maybe even find Q if they're not careful. 5 Paul's Razor pushing the off lane? Let's go. White One's loving life.
They were not anticipating this. The overgrowth afterwards, they get the kill on the Q.
What kind of play is that? It makes no sense. No wonder Talon didn't expect it. This 1 health Treant, TP's bottom, and solo overgrowth's a hoodwink.
That's awesome. That's such a cool play. All right,
T1 tower is under attack.
T1 still has some magic up their sleeve.
I feel like March had a talking to it. This team was like, guys, that game 1, like we were just passively sitting back. Like, let's play T1 Dota. Like, they had 10 kills in like a 40-minute game. Like, that's not T1 Dota. And this time around, they're coming out, guns blazing. Like, yeah, their draft is a bit wonky and they don't have stuns. And, you know, there's a lot of question marks about how it's going to pan out. But they're playing a different brand of Dota.
Oh, and the bushwhack comes on through. Just enough for the finish. Nicely played there. He tried to do a little bit of a cute play with the illusion rune, but ended up getting caught nonetheless. Carl. So
where they go from here? This Pengo has been owning top of the net worth, making a lot of plays and having a huge impact on this game so far.
Right, and has Diffusal Blade done now. They are also getting towards one on Slark, but it definitely feels like he's going to want to keep farming up, get his items online. I mean, I'm not sure. What do you think the timings are going to look like for both of these teams when they actually try and go all in? Although, I have to hold that thought. Oh, Gabby, down low.
Get out. I've never seen a draft like T1, so it's hard to say. Trying to read what's going on here. He's getting picked
going down. Makoto, though, he's taking a ton of damage from Whitemon. Dude, this support Razor is doing a ton. And now Gabby trying to chase Q. Does he have another overgrowth? Finds him a second time with the Tumbler's Toy. And a second round. Carl with the double kill. They pop the
just to stay alive.
Split, and just he could get out of there.
Yeah, I think KP caught in the overgrowth. Didn't feel he would have been chased down if he doesn't split there. So fair enough that he uses, I guess, to save his life. But honestly, this game is just craziness. Carl had a Midas queued up. When you asked him about timings, I could click QOP, and QOP had a Midas queued up. And I was like, I don't know what their time. If QOP's going Midas, I don't know how to answer that question. But goes back for an Orchid now. This makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more standard. You know, this is, they're all going early mid-game items like Orchid QOP, Razor with the drums, Nature's Prophet with the fast vessel, Diffusal Slark. I think we're going to see Gabby look to fight early rather than farm. Maybe an Aghanim Scepter second for the double leap. They're just all in on constant brawl.
And Carl
loses his mana.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a rough one. I mean, this has been historically the problem with QOP, right? You get caught a couple of times in the mid game and suddenly your game feels almost over. So it needs to get into that first item very quickly here and make some stuff happen.
One gets caught doing some warding maybe.
So blocking off these camps. 23savage has the damage drain and now is going to eventually get killed off. So 23savage, good chunk of pressure back that direction.
So it is level 2 stack. I was curious if he was going to leave it level 1. He had a 4-1-1 build, and I legit thought he may just leave static link level 1 against the Morph, but does go back for a second point.
Carl. Oh, Carl. What have you done? This is not good. Has to blink away. Makoto, she's not going to get him.
Level 3 blink.
To escape.
He really needs that 4th point to get that 6-second cooldown, I feel like.
A good kill on to hide, though.
Yeah, Gabby's online. He's getting active. He was coming in, making that move, and now he's rotating behind mid with it. Nighttime. This is where Slark can really shine with that vision advantage.
Does show on the creep wave, though, so he's going to clear out this one and then likely get some pressure onto the tower. Bruce splits back up again in 3 seconds if they want to go for this here.
No good way to stop it coming off. They're going to just take the tower. He tried to deny it, but the glyph was there, so like should be an easy pickup for T1.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
All right, well, tier 1 tower is taken across the map. Gabby is going to go down bottom, clean up this creep wave, and again, waiting for that timing of the Orchid finish for the Queen of Pain. They have a Vessel charges, very notably now for Cuckoo, so he can maybe make a move onto 23savage if he shows himself anywhere.
Yeah, and Savage, like, he desperately needs Manta. He's probably going to need a BKB eventually, but that Manta's pretty far away. Bottom lane, they found Makoto.
I don't know exactly what happened there for him.
The Orchid.
They find him afterwards. Orchid right on top.
Mana.
Gabby jumps in, able to connect for the finish.
Great find in the trees there. They're going to TP back to heal and look to maybe take another fight here. I mean, T1 just want to keep playing this very scrappy Dota. I don't think they want big 5-on-5 fights. They want to play like split push and pick off. And it's all up to the Penguin's like the one here that deals well with split push. The problem is, like, now with this Orchid up, if you're trying to deal with split push with just 1 or 2 heroes, you're going to get picked off.
Ooh. Carl caught sight of Q there for a moment, but wasn't able to get the Orchid blink off.
He can't really blink it aggressively, otherwise he may just feed.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going in a little blind. But this time around, Treant can initiate.
He's right there on top of him, gets the split off in time. Now the lift up onto Carl, trying to bring in more. Zephyr in some trouble. The big ol' ulti dropping down from Dawnbreaker afterwards. They get the blink out by Carl. Round 2 now. Orchid onto Cuckoo, but another lift up. Oh, KP is doing so much right now. Cuckoo turns, KP trying to get out of there. Low on mana, and with Gabby showing up, this should be enough to bring down the brew, but he gets it off again. Round 2 with the Aghanims, and now Makoto comes in, has the roll. They take down 2. Back to back, Gabby got lifted again. Dude, KP is doing so much on this Brewmaster. Another lift up after the Dark Pact, and Carl comes in. Wants to go 27. It's almost enough. Can they kill him off? No. He got the shift over before the Orchid. That is way too much.
Yep, and lots of AoE damage to go through the Shadow Dance as well. Using the Dawn as well as the clap from the Brewmaster. And wow, what a team. I mean, just that is, I mean, you talk about timings. Brewmaster Ags is one of the best timings there is. Having double ulti, he also had the level 12, so the second point in Primal Split. It was just such a big power spike for Talon's game, and T1 were the ones that forced that fight onto the Brew and part of the map. Like, they just came in thinking, you know, they're all in the early mid game. Makoto. DP out.
And no way to bring him down.
Yeah. Lack of stuns.
The Brewmaster, we're seeing how much he just gets done with like the double lift up that happened in that fight, and I mean, I don't know. These heroes need BKBs, but they're not going to get them anytime soon. Silence there on the Dawnbreaker, and I guess that is one benefit. You know, you just fight when he doesn't have primal split back up.
Oh, and T1's draft has like 0 cooldowns. Like Nature's Prophet is a go hero, 5 Razor. Like Slark is not really got cooldowns to worry about. QOP, yeah, you've got an ultimate, but even without it, you can have a lot of impact. So I like this. Honestly, T1, they're keeping it even, and at some point, I do feel like Slark becomes the ultimate late game carry.
23savage. He got the switch over, blinks out afterwards for Photo. Tries to go for the roll, root afterwards, then he takes it off. Not bad, not bad. Carl jumps, trying to take down KP, jumps away from the Orchid, and then has the ulti available. They got to get out. T1, they're in too deep. Cuckoo's going to get caught. Whitemon tries to go in to snipe him with it, but it wasn't enough. And now 23savage still surviving through all of this. AP on a killing spree. MVP by far right now. This man is too freaking good. 3 dead.
They just bit off a bit more than they can chew there. They're like, you know, they kept trying to force these fights with Brewmaster split down, but at some point it just comes back up, and KP, they tried to go on him there, but he managed to get out just barely back to safety with the help. I think it was the, Q's4 stuff on Hoodwink. And then T1 are just, once you commit to a fight, if you're T1, they don't have the best disengage. Here's like, you know, Razor, Nature's Prophet. They don't have that kind of mobility that gets them easily out of a fight. Only that maybe the QOP and the Slark have that luxury. So T1, pay the price.
What I guess feels so strange to me about this game, though, is that it's still remaining incredibly close. Talon keep on winning these fights, and in spite of that, T1 are still keeping it pretty freaking close in farm. Granted, that is with the Nature's Prophet, but still, a little bit wild.
I mean, it's very utility oriented. Nature's Prophet. It's not like he's going too greedy. I think recognizing you've got QOP Slark on your team. And the big thing is, I do feel like, this Slark is very unanswered this game. Obviously, he still needs his teammates to have an impact. He's not just going to have to start out 1v5 fights. I think Slark, until he really builds up essence stacks, isn't, you know, he's not a true carry in a fight. So you need that long, drawn-out fight. So you have to find a way to keep the rest of your team alive in order to really enable your Slark.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Now, we'll see if they can get there.
He's been working on this for a while now, both Aghanim Scepter and Aghanim Shard. He's just about got the Scepter done as pressure continues to mount down bottom. Catapult eventually going to get taken out, but it gives him more maneuverability in these fights.
Is under attack.
Yeah, the Shard is a interesting one because, you know, you're a carry, but it's a very kind of team-oriented pickup. But he recognizes, like I mentioned, like he needs his teammates to stay alive, and if they get jumped on and controlled, it's a good way to kind of temporarily bail them out.
And a second, you know, ulti for himself, basically, too. He needs it for that. So Smoke going with 4, ready to fight. Brew split, they only have 1, but that might be enough. Hoodwink. Smoke. Q did not quite realize it, and they will find the Hoodwink. Comes on in, a couple quick punches. Dying? Yes.
Even that they got to work for. And they go into Roshan. It's just a Hoodwink kill. I don't think that's an option when you're against Brewmaster.
See it with Pango too.
How T1 feel about it. Their draft, like, they can rush, it's just not particularly fast. So I think they're going to have to play a bit of more of the farming game. Again, I think their lineup excels at split push and kind of pick off and catch. Even without the stuns, like a hero like Slark and Queen of Pain with Orchid, like that's just where they're going to be at their best. 5v5 team fight into Pengo plus Brew, that's where things go south. Even with BKBs, like they're going for these BKBs and that'll help them in a team fight, but I don't think it's like it solves all the problems. Someone's still going to get cycloned in the air. You know, they have answers for the Treant overgrowth on the Radiant side, Pengo with the Aghanim Shard, so plus a Lotus Orb as well. So this doesn't feel like team fight is going to be something where T1 can come out on top.
Is under attack.
And they also can find these pickoffs at times if Zephyr's not careful. Ring around the Rosie a few more times, but won't quite bring him down. Although with KP now, maybe. I mean, he has 2 splits if you want to use it. Doesn't go for it.
Yeah, they're going to see KP with this locked Aeon disc and know that he is just not a target you can ever go in a fight. He's going to get those splits off. It is unavoidable.
Yeah, got to be saved for last, if at all. And they do finish a couple of other big items here. QOP has the BKB completed. Not quite there yet for the NP, but Gabby runs on in right at the start.
Gotta
Thinking
ignore
about
KP.
going on a couple. They have the link on to KP. Gabby in trouble. Forced to pop the ultimate and then jump away.
I can't find now. Slark used everything. His ultimate and double lead. They need to disengage.
Yeah, that is not something that they do well. As you've mentioned before, Carl, first instance of the BKB going to be popped. Can't get anything for it.
KP's looking for another Cyclone.
Is under attack.
That wind panned in, but it looks like they're just going to prioritize Roshan instead. He gets the Cyclone off, but they're in Roshan. Daring T1 to challenge them now. They can maybe scout him out with some Treants or something, but Shadow Dance is coming back up in 25. And they get in here.
Gets caught. Waveform. 23savage was forward.
Yeah.
They weren't able to de-ward this yet. Yeah, and they come on in now, and Hyde's taking off that sentry ward. So they're going to have the vision advantage in spite of these trees just in the pit with them. It's on forward. Gabby tries to take it out. Will manage to get the jump away afterwards.
That's big. Seeing the warning getting out. It's just keeping them out of the Roshan pit. Another split.
Downtown, they find him, they kill him. 35 seconds with no tree. Lift up now onto Razor. And still, Roche has not taken that much damage, so they're still delaying this.
The big problem is they need this QOP BKB, though, to really team fight. At least that's what it feels like to me.
Although KP doesn't have his ulti anymore. Can they take advantage of that possibly?
Yeah.
Whitemon, chase, disarm, tries to walk in, looking for more. He's down super low, does eventually die. But that might be enough, having baited out both ultis. It's 40 seconds without split.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Very good
attack.
job stalling out the fight. Unfortunately, like, even though they stopped Talon getting Roshan, like, to stall out the fight, you know, it comes at a cost. They're
Right.
giving up a Razor kill. They're using some of these cooldowns, but they do buy time and get them out of the Roshan pit and prevent, you know, Morphling with an Aegis at this stage of the game and the Skadi almost complete. That could spell their demise, so.
Wow, that was a good point. Yeah, 23savage is very farmed. Oh my god.
Yeah, he is caught up.
They all kind of are relatively even. And we're going to be getting towards that shard next for Slark. We'll see how this one goes. So a lot comes down to how these fights work out and how the initiations start.
KP has one ultimate back up, so Alan's more than happy to take a fight once again around this mid lane, I gotta imagine. See if T1 can get that kind of execution jump they're hoping for. They're smoked up, trying to catch on the backlines here. Gabby's gonna be leading the way. He's the catch, not just the carry. He's the one who has to start things off.
This is a good wraparound. If they can find Makoto right at the start, this would be huge.
See him.
Or possibly Q. Not a bad one to get either. Jumps on him right at the start. Big jump. Force staff won't save. Looking for round two now. KP has the split if they need it. They're not going on him though.
You've got to always ignore KP. I mean, you can poke at him, but you cannot commit too many spells.
They do find Carl. Has blink back up in a second. Pops that BKB. Regen rune ready to go. Kodo has already used roll now. Jumps. Looking for more.
On this maybe.
KP backs away, tries to get out of here, has the evasion coming in from that drunken brawler. And disarm, round two, looking for the finish. KP still hanging on to that brute split. Sonic Blade just barely off the mark. Carl, that was the moment. That's what they needed. That was
the moment. Oh, honest, like, I love how T1 played that fight. Just the final, you know, that final missing
Radiant's
piece of the
top
team
tower
fight.
has fallen.
The poke and prod and the killing blow from Carl just slightly off the mark. It was honestly so good the way they approached the Brewmaster with the Aeon Disc, knowing you can never overcommit on this Brewmaster.
And he finally pops it now. Although they're all stuck in the sprout. Cabby gonna jump away. Can they catch Cuckoo though? This would be big for him. Split, he has BKB afterwards. Whitemon still hanging out in the area. BKB, TP out. Does he get brought down? Oh god, that was close.
Zephyr's still playing around the ward here.
Radiant's main tower
He
is
just
under attack.
got de-warded and he's putting another one, but Gabby's there to help bail him out.
Yeah, they drop it down. Now they have full vision up on this high ground.
Yeah.
Zephyr tries to TP away, but the bushwhack's there. So they will take down the tree. Just constant brawls going back and forth in this game. They have another split from KP. Finally, Scotty completed on Morph. And with 21-14, there's still less than 1,000 gold separating these two teams.
This game is honestly wild. Like, it has such like a pub game feel to it in like a really good, fun way. Like, both teams are playing their drafts like a pub game because that's what they you know, that's what their drafts do best, particularly T1. It's like, it's super scrappy. It's not like this coordinated team fight because they have no team fight. They have no stuns. So they have to play in this very specific way in order to basically beat a draft with good team fight. And they're doing it for the most part. Unfortunately, they're going to be tested once again. Into the Roshan pit they go on the Talon side. Treant will scout it out, so T1's going to know this and have a bit of time to react. Cuckoo's already TP'd away. No TP for now, but
the rest are moving in. Gabby's there, ready to poke and prod. This is, in a lot of ways, a great answer for we've seen these commitment of teamfight spells. If they can bait out a split, if they can bait out a roll, it's all looking good. They know there's no vision over there. Trying to roll in. Are they going to come and contest this, or are they just giving it up? It looks like they're going to give it for free.
Yeah.
Makoto rolls, gets out.
I think they just didn't feel like they had the positioning for it or the vision. All their wards kept getting, you know, dewarded a bit, although they did manage to get some even more. Like, they still have 2 wards up somehow. Like, I was watching Zephyr behind enemy lines. Like, he double warded the cliff, thinking just being, like, cute. With, you know, it just got dewarded. Oh, I'll put it there again. They won't look, but...
Right.
Somehow gets an even deeper ward down that goes undetected, so... Such an important game for vision. Right. With an Aegis, it does feel like Talon is just... It's just so annoying to play against this T1 draft. You try and 5-man force a team fight or go for a lane, and you know, it's nature's profit. The hero will rat you on one side, Slark will poke at you and get in, get out. It's just frustrating to play against these kind of heroes.
Well, and the other thing now is like you all of that pressure around the top side of the map meant that tier 2 bottom went away. Gabby will find KP here, but the force staff and then jump away from KP with that quick movement speed means they can't shut him down. Gabby also takes the 75 Shadow Dance attack speed talent on 20. Which is pretty interesting there, but with a good amount of evasion, he might need to get into an MKB at some point.
Gotta, you know, give your team some attack speed, help them carry with the shard.
Oh,
I assume it works for your teammates. I've never seen that, so.
Dire's top tower.
Interesting point. Yeah,
makes sense.
Wow. I like it.
But I don't think that's why he's getting it. None of his teammates benefit that much from the attack speed.
Whitemon. Yeah, he's gonna get caught here and no way out once they just drop the split right onto him. Although they do have a Gabby DD. Is he gonna try and get a little fresh here with them?
And then
Radiant's middle tower is
KP already has other ideas. He's hunting down Zephyr's tree and I need to get him in the trees. I mean, they could go for a Rolling Thunder. It's just very, like, it's hit or miss whether you catch someone, and for a Treant, I don't think it's worth throwing a cooldown like that.
Zephyr might drop one of these sentries up here on this high ground now, but he is underneath a ward. No Gabby nearby to reveal that there is an obs right on top of him.
Honestly, hats off to 23savage. This man has farmed his way back into this game. He had such a rough start. He got pressure. I mean, he got counterpicked very heavily. Like, as soon as that Morphling came out, they're like, okay, Razor support, and we're picking all these Morphling counters. But he has warmed up a storm, top net worth, and he's got a game now.
And no matter how many times they try and nerf it, 23savage finds a way to buy an Aghanim Scepter on Morphling.
Yes.
It is a new strange form of ulti, where you're stealing away from the target that you're morphing into. So some interesting things to watch for there. Since I think it's probably mostly going to be taking the Agi from Slark, who he wants to switch into.
I'm guessing you can't dark back that off.
Right.
It seems like something you can't dark back off.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I mean, I guess the one thing is that he has been switching into QOP a decent amount, so being able to steal Spell Amp isn't terrible either, because then she's going to be dealing like 20% less damage, which is kind of interesting.
Either one seems pretty good. I mean, Slark is so reliant on attack speed to build essence chips that QOP is all about that spell damage, so either way, like, I think you're pretty happy if you're 23savage.
Watch and see who he does switch over into, but Gabby gets found for a moment, has to do the double jump to get out of there. He's cutting waves, does not want to give up free pressure onto that tier 2 tower mid lane, as Aegis only a minute left on it.
sure they're going to be able to do any more than maybe get a tier 2 tower out of this. And even that, they've taken only 2 towers this game. They're playing against Treant Protector, but it's been a game where T1 has made it really difficult with all the wave cutting and shenanigans going on to ever really group up and take towers. Like, it feels like to the extent they've grouped up, it was just to secure that Roche. Finally get this tier 2 mid tower, looks like. But they're being ratted constantly. Every single time if you group up for a lane, there's going to be split push happening in 2 other lanes.
Got a fight going on off to the side. Whitemon found again. Does get the link off, and Makoto a little bit of a mix-up there. Underneath the Death Shroud. Stays alive for a moment, but only a moment. TLN do eventually shut him down.
I feel like that was Gabby just like, here, let me show you what I can do. Because, yeah, it's not going to save the Razor, but it was definitely, you know, he's just testing it out. He's like, okay, we can use this later.
Exactly. He's trying to get into a Scotty too, which will be another nice answer for the Morph.
I feel like at some point he may need some way to deal with evasion, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Definitely against like the drunken brawler and stuff.
Jump forward, Hex as well as Orchid, and Sonic Wave to finish it off. And Carl in pretty deep KP. Doesn't want to do any split action though to try and bring him down. But that is, I think, the reveal of the Hex by the QOP.
This is Carl's QOP, late game QOP. We're about to see level 25 hit. Honestly, as far as Queen of Pain goes into the SEA region, I think he's perhaps got the best Queen of Pain. Something he would bust out all the time, like around TI and leading up to TI when QOP was like the top meta mid. Not had the most flawless of games so far, especially early on. A few kind of shaky deaths against the Pangolier, but and the mid Sonic Wave that we saw recently, but definitely in a position where he can impact the late game in a huge way.
Right. And they do also have, looks like the Bloodthorn coming out from him. So another way to deal with some of that extra evasion stuff. Although the Hex, maybe he's in trouble. KP, Orchid, double force. Very hard to stay on target. KP, he's going to be fine. Yeah, they just have to back out. Savage switches into the Slark and now ready to jump around.
They're still ratting bottom. They're going to get a tier 3.
Yeah, that is really good. They're keeping him honest. Waveform in. Savage looks to chase, wants to bring him down. BKB, but the overgrowth is there right at the start. And 23savage is the other part we didn't talk about. He has the long-range pounce to try and chase them down afterwards. But Whitemon under control. Q there for the bushwhack afterwards. And eventually they will kill off the support Razor. So all of that said, it ends up only being 1 kill off, and Zephyr, I think, escapes from this. Maybe not. He jumps back into the side and they'll find him. Yeah.
He realizes there's a ward there. Yeah, it's the tree ward. He pings it afterwards. He's like, oh, okay, there's vision here. But yeah, 2 supports. You get a tier 3 tower. You know, they're still farming. Ultimately, I think, you know, for Talon, it's like, it's on a win. That's for sure. It's one of those fights where neither team really comes out on top. I think for T1, you're just feeling pretty good that you frustrate them with some split push, you disengage, only losing your supports who, you know, their lives don't matter too much at this stage. At least when you're fighting on the enemy side of the map, because usually if you're on your side of the map, Talon are like, okay, we killed 2 supports, let's go, you know, take these towers, but there's no towers to take.
Yeah, and they now are just going to try and push in all the waves again, and it's immediately bottom lane pressured out. There's creeps that are hitting their racks. Granted, backdoor protection means it's not a huge issue, but once the rest of the creep wave catches back up, they're going to have to come and deal with this again.
Yeah. Makoto knew this was coming. He's had boots of travel for some time. I think they probably looked at T1's draft and like, yeah, this is going to be a split push game. Let's get some boots of travel. They've been using Dawnbreaker very effectively too, where she'll defend a lane and you've always got Solar Garden to come on in. With an Ag Scepter plus a shard queued up, Hyde is getting pretty damn farmed himself.
Yeah, the evasion is already very annoying. They have one way to deal with it, which is the Bloodthorn at the moment. But obviously a couple of different dispels across the lane, across the game rather, and the big one being that Aeon Disc for KP. So it's going to be unlikely they can get a free Orchid kill on him unless there's some really fancy stuff going on. But we'll watch and see where they go next. Whitemon, in the meantime, he finished off a Wraith Pack, so more ways to mitigate damage on top of just the Bloodthorn. thinking about going on him up here. And it looks like they're going to keep the pressure on. This tier 2 tower is still standing, though. I don't think they're going to be able to get a free take here.
Oh, not someone you can easily go on. And Timeless Relic, more spell damage for him. He's a pretty happy camper, and they end up getting the range racks. I mean, this is not a game. It's more just annoying because someone has to constantly defend. Range racks don't kill, and then when someone defends, you take a fight elsewhere on the map. This is the gameplay. Split them up. Savage is caught Gabby. Ooh.
But he gets the depth shot out.
Okay.
And that keeps him alive for now.
And he's still a Shadow Dance, so making good use of the double ulti in a sense.
KP walks in. They leave a Penta sword on the ground. Gonna pick that up eventually, I think. Maybe not. It's just on the ground. 23savage runs in. They find him broken and backing up, looking for more. Whitemon gets out barely. No, he's not going to. I think that should just about do it here. KP still looking for another rundown, and they find Cuckoo able to catch and kill that NP, so no more split push coming out. And with the lift onto Gabby, I don't think they can kill him, but maybe they can actually. Leashed up, gets the ulti off, trying to get out of there. Does have the double leap, but they're blocking his way. He doesn't have a way out. Oh, good jump in front of the Slark. And now there's no split push happening. They're going to take some buildings here.
Yep.
Dire structures.
Stormbreaker manages to get out as well. Jumps to the other side of the map. I thought she had the kill on the Dawnbreaker with the Hex, but Dawn had already jumped out of there, so
has fallen.
T1 may just go high ground here. Slark has a buyback, maybe from it doesn't. They're going to stop poking here. 23savage. What a great team fight from him, using that Slark form, getting the double leash on the Slark, and using his own poison against him. Here, take a taste of this and going for the Drax here. Slark does not want to buy back. I mean, we'll see if he has to, because this is dire time for T1.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, they forced step him in. Whitemon, where are you going? Oh no, a good catch for the kill. And with Razor going down, and now a lift up onto Treant too. I mean, that's a full set of racks down. Damn.
Too good. I believe it was KPO. That seems like the kind of play he would make. Just a very kind of cerebral player. Very smart guy, and finds the initiation of sorts, and then they're going to disengage, say, take the racks, go for Roshan, and just play this very objective-oriented style of Dota.
It is dropping pretty quickly. They're going to get the Treant in, but I think it's going to come a little bit too late, unless there's some really lucky bashes, but it doesn't look like it's going to end up mattering. So, split push game for T1, but TLN, after a really good-looking game number 1, have taken the lead in this scrappy game 2, on the verge of 2-0ing T1 and putting their sights on going to a major. This would be a huge victory for them, long in the waiting.
Well, this would really set them up for success. And T1, they already lost to RSG. They still have to play Fnatic and Boom. A loss here could mean T1. I mean, they still have a chance to go to the major. Those are teams they beat before, but it really puts them in a must-win situation. So this series matters so much for both teams. This is another series. I mean, there's 5 teams in the kind of top of the SEA region. 5 teams with only 1 loss, and whoever loses this is getting their 2nd loss, and it's going to be put to their back against the wall in terms of making it to the major.
Wow. The smoke up now, everybody except for Dawnbreaker trying to find a target to jump onto. They will be able to dodge the fight on T1 for the moment. Savage shows on the creep wave, and Zephyr in the meantime is just going to hang out over here, ready to cut waves constantly.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Heavy backs away, was underneath vision for a moment there. Makoto comes on in. Are they going to go on him? Disarmed. Has the roll. They force the double jump.
Radiant's bottom
and Slark is out. But the constant annoyance down bottom.
Yeah, with the level 25 talent, Pengo can make this play because, 25-second cooldown. Throwing a Rolling Thunder, it's not like earlier on in the game where when Rolling Thunder was down or baited out, it was like, oh, nice play from T1. They can maybe, do something now or contest Roshan, but basically it's almost full uptime.
Should note, Hyde right now sitting on 220 last hits. on the position 4 Dawnbreaker. Not bad.
Solid. It's a fun game to play Dawnbreaker against split push. Suddenly, it's your job to deal with the split push. I mean, probably half of those are Treants, but
Right.
he's loving life because he's the guy that gets to stop split push from happening.
Meanwhile, they jump up onto high ground. Works out. Okay. The Aeon Disc with the split comes. AP ready to lift one. Decides to pick up the NP. He has BKB when he comes back down. Makoto gets a good catch there, but BKB afterwards. Calm now turns onto 23savage, trying to bring him down. Reduce the damage with the Bloodthorn, but it won't matter. They have no real counter to this. I mean, he's still got 2 minutes left on the Aegis.
Yeah, they're trying to take the Aegis like for free, like just using like a Bloodthorn or something. They don't want to commit any, like a Shadow Dance or an Overgrowth for it. Alternatively, they just want to stall it out. So they keep their tier 3 tower alive. They've got Living Armor to continue to heal it up as well. And that Aegis timer is getting, lower and lower. Still around 2 minutes, so I imagine Talon are going to have another go or two. They've just got the one primal split for a little bit longer, but that should be enough maybe to get the job done.
Keeping control for the moment. Cuckoo's there, jumping from Carl. Has the hack. Do they have enough? Gabby down so low already. Rooted. Do they have the damage? No. Carl already dead for 100 seconds. No buyback. Gabby has to do it all alone. There's no way that's going to work. They jump forward for Whitemon. He too will fall. Cuckoo gets bashed immediately upon trying to TP out of there and doesn't manage to escape with the second TP. They all got a buyback, but eyes on the prize. Talon, they know victory is in their sights. Can they finish this one off though? Proc the Aeon Disc on Makoto. They need everything here.
Going for the throne. They've got to move out and defend.
Gabby comes in from behind, trying to find Q. He wants to kill his old teammate. It's not quite working for him though. The second jump away from Makoto. Still keeping control. KP Aeon Disc. It procs again. Whitemon trying to survive this, but they don't have enough damage. They do not have nearly enough damage. And with that, Talon gonna set their sights on the Ancient. Finish this game off a clean 2-0. I think we got a little bit of revenge here from